Leadership's not about the position or how long we've been around or the title. It's about how we think. Leadership is the moment-by-moment disciplining of my thoughts. And that's the next blank on your handout there. Thoughts. So some people look at a problem and they say, why is this happening again? When is somebody going to take care of that? Whose stupid idea was it? A leader looks at the same problem and says, how can I fix this? How can I help move things forward here, right? That's what leadership thinking sounds like. It's got nothing to do with the title. It has everything to do with what we're really talking about today, which is personal accountability. So they're sitting in the car trying to just figure out, what they're going to do. Meanwhile, a young guy comes out of the restaurant, sees him, comes over, just asks, what's going on. His name was Levin. So they tell him their story, ask if he knows any places that are still open. He says, no, don't do that. Listen, we just closed. It's no problem to open back up. Just come on in, I'll take care of you. What? What? When I waited tables, the last thing I ever wanted to see was some straggler coming in 10 minutes. Anybody here work in restaurants? You know what I'm talking about, right? During the peak, it's just crazy. And as soon as it starts slowing down, you start thinking about getting out of there. There's a lot of work to do to clean up and close out before you can go, right? So, I know it's wrong and bad, but if that had been me, I would have been thinking things like, why do I always get stuck with a closing shift? When are people going to stop coming in at the last minute? Fortunately, Devin's a better person than I am. Or, at least that I was. I'd like to think I've gotten better. Here's what he did. He really did. He opened up. He fired up the stoves. He made them what they wanted. He warmed up the baby's bottle. He went and found some toys to keep the kids entertained while they waited. I know you're not in the restaurant business, but I'm sure you can imagine how that same attitude would apply to what you do and the difference it would make if people took ownership of problems like that. It's a beautiful thing. So it's a great picture of what we're talking about. Again, just owning the problem. Okay, just owning the problem. We've been talking about blame for a long time. QBQ came out around 2001. John Miller is the lead author on the book, speaking about it many years before that, 95, 96. In all those years, not one person has ever said, that's wrong. No, blame's good. No one says that. So everyone agrees it's bad, yet we continue to do it. The problem's as bad today as it's ever been, maybe worse. Now, not for people who know QBQ, of course, but everybody else. We keep doing it. Have you seen the company coat of arms? You ever heard of that company coat of arms? I'll show you. Fingers pointing at everybody else. We all do it. What does it say about people when we all agree it's bad, yet we continue to do it? I'm looking for an H word. It means we are all human beings. This is what we do. It's in our nature. It's the most natural thing in the world when things go wrong to start pointing fingers and looking for a scapegoat. But that's why we need to be vigilant about it. We need to be watching out for it and ideally have some sort of a tool to help us with it. If we don't do that, since it's in our nature, we're going to slip back in and start doing it even though we believe it's a bad thing to do. And it just costs us in every way. I'm not saying with all of this that these lousy questions we're talking about aren't reasonable, aren't understandable, aren't justifiable at times. They may well be. What I'm saying is they don't get us anywhere. Nothing of value comes from asking them. When I'm in this why me place, I'm just focused in the wrong place. I'm not focused on finding a solution. So it's not going to make anything better. It only perpetuates that negativity. Just to reinforce this point I mentioned earlier, none of this is saying when we're asking these questions, that's who we are. Okay? Matter of fact, the point is it's the opposite. It's not who we are. We're better than that. So if we can watch out for these questions and avoid these traps, we can be who we really are. Does that make sense? When is somebody going to train me? You ever hear that one? When's someone going to train me? That's a terrible question. Now, should we be training our people? Yeah. Of course. But if the training's not there for whatever reason, from the individual side, now what? Do we just not try to develop ourselves? I hope not. And whose job is it really to drive my personal development? It's my job, right? So, instead of when is someone going to train me, the better question, the QBQ, what can I do today to develop myself? There's always more you can do. I'll tell you what, it's no coincidence that it's the professionals who work with coaches. It's the amateurs who just hack away and figure, well, it's good enough. It's no coincidence. Entitlement thinking. One of the worst traps there is. And I can say that because it's one that I have struggled with, especially earlier in my life. I kind of slip into that. I just feel I have so much potential. I just feel good things should be happening to me. It's just really dangerous. So, 2 big reasons to avoid these 1 questions: procrastination, entitlement thinking. And the amazing thing is, it actually works. You can actually change your behavior, and there's some pretty core behaviors here, right? You can change your behavior by just asking different questions. It's pretty incredible. Our value as people is in the difference we make for others, the value we provide others. If we don't make a difference in people's lives, we might as well not have been here, right? Nobody would miss us if we were gone. So service is just fundamental to what it means to be human. It's like the basic requirement for entry into the club, the humanity club, especially into the legacy club. If you're interested or thinking about leaving a legacy, it's all about service. So it's really like, it's who we are. It's our highest calling. As you leave here today, I want you to think about Devin, the guy from the restaurant, and the difference he made for that family by just owning that situation. And I want you to think about Penny and her golf cart and the incredible difference she made by owning that small little position, just really serving people. And then I want you to just think about you and the difference it can make for you, it will make for you when you start asking these better questions and take your accountability to the next level. We've talked about some examples of how it's helped other people, but what's it going to do for you? Because that's really what it's about.